This morning, I was talking with a client of mine, an entrepreneurial client. We were talking about the structure that he needs to get ahead dramatically in his life, especially for Q1. This past year, 2024, was really rough sledding for him, and he has some really big financial goals for 2025 for his business, etc. And we started a conversation where he brought to the table many different questions about personal development, right? Good questions, but also what I call heady questions, metaphysical questions, almost in some sense esoteric questions. But not like full-blown law of attraction. I'm just going to sit on the couch and visualize. Obviously, he wouldn't be talking with me or working with me and paying me for my help if we weren't, if he was somebody who just sat on the couch. But it was still pretty esoteric in my book. And so I asked him the following questions, and I'm going to share those questions with you so that you can ask yourself the same questions. It's a great way. These questions are a great way to call yourself out or to just reality check yourself, okay? So this is the question I asked him. I said, hey, if you were an investor and you were looking to invest in people that you believed could hit the outcome or goal that you yourself hold for yourself right now for this coming year, but the only way that you could make your investment decision is by looking at the calendar of the person you were considering investing into. You couldn't talk to them, couldn't get to know them. You simply had to look at their daily and weekly and monthly structure and system and process that they're following for the past 12 months. What have they been doing? And that's the only data you could see to decide whether you would invest in that person or not, banking on them hitting the outcome or the goal that they have. So I asked him, if you looked at your own calendar for the last 12 months, would you invest in you? And he said, well, I think so. Yeah. And I said, okay. We were on a Zoom call, and I said, okay, share your screen, show me your calendar. Let's go look at your calendar. And in very short order, his answer changed to, yeah, if I only was looking at my calendar, and that's the only data I had, I wouldn't invest in me. And I said, okay. By the way, side note, the reason why we do these kinds of things, we fall into these kinds of traps, is because we judge others based upon their results. We judge ourselves based upon our intentions. Now, I said, take for a moment, set aside all your big, heady, lofty personal development questions, and let's boil it down to brass tacks, right? To where the rubber meets the road. You're never going to get outcomes and results without taking action. Yes, visualization. Yes, elevating your energy, your state, priming yourself. Yes, addressing and short-circuiting and eliminating limiting beliefs. Yes to all of that. And taking the right action consistently over a long enough period of time is mission critical. You can do all the internal mind work, but it can all end up being just nothing more than mental masturbation if you don't put rubber to the road, don't take the right action. And the best indicator of how structured you are and how aligned you are with getting to your goals is your calendar and your structure for how you've done the past 6 to 12 months. To say it differently for you here watching this video, hanging out with me, I come across, and I used to be this guy. This is why I'm so good at working with men and helping them get really huge results in a really short period of time. So many of us are consuming all kinds of cool, awesome, feel good, esoteric, spiritual, metaphysical, personal development content. But in reality, we're still stuck on just scheduling things and sticking to a schedule on our calendar. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, really think about that. Be honest with yourself. If you looked at your own calendar and didn't know you, would you invest in YouTube banking that you would hit the goals that you say you have for this coming year or whenever you're watching this video? If your daily structure, weekly structure, and monthly structure does not align with and isn't congruent with getting you to your goals and your outcome, and it isn't clear and obvious to any third person who would look at your calendar and say, yeah, that person, his structure, his daily, weekly, and monthly structure is absolutely aligned with getting to the goal and outcome that he says he wants. If somebody, a third person, can't look at your calendar and say that, I could almost promise you, I could almost 100% guarantee you're not going to be hitting your goals. And whenever I hear somebody talk about how they have big goals, but they don't talk about structure, the habits, the system, the process, right? If they poo-poo things like scheduling it into your calendar, time blocking, I know one thing for sure. That person has never accomplished anything big or significant. Think about when you're at work, if you have a job or if you've ever had a job. You schedule meetings and then you show up. Why? Because they're important, right? There's deadlines to get things done. Why? Because you lose your job if you don't get them done, right? You look at your calendar and you say, oh yeah, I can't do meetings Thursday and Friday because I've got this deadline. I've got to get it on my boss's desk by Friday at 4:30 p.m. Or I'm dead, or I'm toast. Scheduling it, having structure, having deadlines is absolutely critical and essential to actually standing any realistic chance of making significant and consistent progress towards the realization of your goals, your dreams, the outcomes you say you want. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've said it so many times, but it's one of those things you just got to keep repeating because that's where everybody's at. How many times, I do this all the time, how many times does a guy come to me for personal development growth and I say, show me your calendar? Show me your calendar. And what's funny is, sometimes I have people say to me, what, I'm just going to pay you for coaching on my calendar and my structure, right? Or I'm going to pay you just to get in a more better physical fitness or just to kind of move towards my goals and I'm going to pay you this much money for that. And I go, well, first off, you don't have to do anything with me. Second off, you're not paying me to structure the calendar. You're not paying me as a coach. And I'm not saying you need to hire me as a coach. I'm just talking to you how I talk to my clients. You're not paying me to make you more physically fit. You're not paying me for the tactical thing. What you're paying me for is to hold you ruthlessly accountable to becoming the version of you that does all the right things on autopilot as a habit so that you become the version of you that sets goals and accomplishes them consistently and predictably over and over and over again. And the way to become that version of you as a man always starts with the absolute basics. Time and time again, I've had guys tell me, I can't pay you. I'm not going to pay you that much for something that basic. And I said, okay, well, have you done it for the last 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? No, you haven't. So if it's so basic, to the point where it's not, where based upon your tonality, it's not important, but yet you haven't even conquered it yet? Which one of us here is off his rocker? Me or you? Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm sharing with you to kind of give you my mind as a transformation coach, as a self-identity coach, right? As somebody, and really, I don't put that kind of label on myself. I'm a guy who, when I work with men, I help them get big, massive, rapid transformation results in a very short period of time. That's my specialty. That's what I focus on. That's my lane. Right, but whenever and I'm sharing all this with you more as just like a vent, because I've had conversations this week and last week with people, men who reached out to me, and it's like, and then I get this like pushback. And I say, well, if this isn't important, or if you're beyond this, then let's look at your calendar. Let's look at your habits. Have you actually mastered this? If not, why are you talking about metaphysical stuff when you can't even handle the small basic physical stuff like calendar, habit, structure? When it's important to keep your job, you schedule it, you book time, block time for work, and you do it. So if you're not scheduling, structuring, time blocking, and creating a structure on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis for yourself, for your goals, what you're saying is that your goals and your dreams and your aspirations are not that important to you. Simple and to the point. I've said this before in other videos. Let's say you've got an opportunity to go out on a date with a woman who in your mind is just an absolute dime piece, your dream woman, the woman you want to meet. And you say you agree to dinner at 7 somewhere with her. You're showing up because you want it bad enough. It's important enough to you. So if you're not putting into your calendar, hey, 3 times a week for, just hypothetically, 3 times a week for 3-hour increments, so 9 hours a week, on 3 hours this day, 3 hours this day, and 3 hours this day, I am showing up and I am working on this project, this thing, whatever, no matter what, putting my phone on silent, locking in, working on it. If you're not doing that, then you're literally telling yourself through your own actions that going after your goal and your dream is less important to you than making sure that you make your boss happy or don't lose your job. It's less important to you than going on a date with the woman that you want to be with. It's less important than that, right? It's less important than when you agree to meet up with friends to go out for beers or hang out. It's less important than that, right? Anything that you schedule time for, agree to meet or do something somewhere with somebody else, and then you do it, but you don't do it for yourself, for your dreams and goals, you're saying all those things are more important than you achieving your goals and dreams. So if that's you, one of two things. You need to either full on reality check yourself and realize that you might just still be stuck on the absolute basics. Schedule, calendar, structure, habits, which by the way, they never go away. That's mission critical to accomplishing your dreams, your goals, your entire life. But you're either got to come to reality check on that, or 2, quit your dreams, let go of your goals and aspirations, and become happy with living a life of mediocrity or wherever you're at. And I'm not saying that in some like punching down way or to even make fun. I'm saying literally, if you can't make your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations important enough such that you schedule it into your calendar with clarity on a structure and a process that you're going to follow on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, if you're not going to do that, then just stop. Stop dreaming. Stop with the goals. You're torturing yourself. Okay? I heard somebody once talk about how ambitious people who are lazy are like absolutely miserable people. I can agree with that. I know that firsthand. I used to be a very ambitious, very lazy guy. I can tell you what finally got me out of being that guy was getting down to the basics and mastering the basics. And then ever since then, I've still had to always consistently come back to remastering the basics. So ask yourself, are my dreams, goals, and aspirations for myself less important than a date with a hot chick, an assignment for a boss at a company that'll discard me the second it's convenient? Are my goals and dreams and aspirations less important than beers with the buds, hanging out with the friends? Because if you can schedule those things and deliver on them, but you don't do the same thing for your goals, that's literally what you're saying, my friend. That is literally what you are saying. So either start taking yourself as seriously and treating yourself with the same level of importance that you give all these other things, or accept the life you have now and enjoy it for what it is and be just at peace with yourself. But stop this torturing yourself with having these big dreams, goals, aspirations, but then just being sloppy, disorganized, unclear, and not having a structure, habits, systems, and process. It starts with a calendar and your daily plan that is aligned with getting you to where you want to go. That's it.